Ryan and Rob again with another Coach's Corner. Today we're going to be going over tracking your training, the different methods, how you can do it, and why you would want to do it or how to implement it. Rob, how do you track your training method?
I'm old school. I like to do it handwritten and just keep notes on it, so that way I can add in if something felt good or something felt off. And it's easier for me to look back on. I can flip through the pages and compare them from there. I'm not real big on digital. I lose a lot of digital stuff.
So you're not a techie? Okay. All right, so we all like to do different methods, right? You've got your digital method, so you can use an app. There's a ton of them out there, honestly. You just got to kind of try each one before you obviously buy it. That'll be your best option. You don't want to buy it and then you're out $100 for a year subscription on something that is absolute trash. We like to use StrengthMark and Strong. Those are two great ones to use out there. I'm sure there's more, but I just haven't used the other ones because we found two that work. Like Rob said, you can use your handwritten method, whether you keep it in a notebook, whether you throw it up on on a whiteboard and just take a picture of it for your later recollections or later perusal. Both of those methods work great. Some people just prefer one over the other. They don't want to lose data, or you just like the feel of paper in their hands and looking back. There is a third and probably the least effective method for most of us, but that would be your just your memory. Obviously, as we get older, memory starts to go a little bit. It doesn't work as well as it could, and it's not as effective. You still have to try to remember stuff, and when you're right in the middle of a heavy ass squat and you're done, you're like, gee, did I just break a PR on that 10th variation that I did, or is that something less? So it's one of those things. The other thing that we're going to cover today is the reasoning behind it. Rob, what is your personal reasoning behind tracking your training?
I like to try and make it as efficient as possible, and that's the easiest way for me to be able to look back on it and seeing, like, is my workload too high? Is it too heavy? Am I putting enough on my dynamic days, or am I pushing hard enough on my heavy days? And so I can look back through there. If my numbers are going up well, then I know I'm on the right track. If they're not, then I can look back and see where I need to adjust, or where I can adjust and make small changes.
All right, so basically you're tracking yours to keep track of your volume and see where your volume's at in regards to where all your 1-rep maxes are, correct? So if you know that if you've got too much volume and something goes down, you know why. Or if you look back and you realize I didn't have a lot of volume and it was going up, and now that I have this much volume and it's going up, or vice versa, not a lot of volume going down, a lot of volume going up, kind of gets see where you need to be at and kind of adjust, right? Okay. So one of the best ways and one of the best reasons to track your training is to track your progress. If you never know where you are at and you're not keeping track of it, how do you know that you're progressing? How do you know you're getting better? How do you know what you're doing is worthwhile? That's why we keep track of things. You always know whether you're going to break your PR, where you got to get to meet your PR. If you're tracking your volume so you know how much you're actually doing, is your workload progressing or is it regressing? And if it is regressing, why? On the same thing, if it is improving, why? How is it? Which way is it? Did you do more volume? Did you do heavier weight? Did you do it for a longer time? All of that is to make you a better lifter, whether you're competitive or not. However, if you don't want to track your stuff and just be awesome just the way you are, more than welcome to.
So do you track every single thing, or is there some things that you should give a little more weight to? Like, do you track every single movement and, like, the weight on that movement? Do you track your volume?
So for me, I do a mixture of kind of everything. I will track my main lifts because those are the most important things to me. I do track the reps and the sets for everything that I'm doing. I don't always track my accessories. Sometimes I'll try to remember it, but ultimately the accessories are more of a going by feel for me. I take my volume as the volume of the main movements that I'm doing. So dynamic day, I'm counting my speed work, so the squats and the deadlifts, right? or my bench. Maximum effort day, I'm counting all of that stuff so I know, making sure that I'm not overdoing it, making sure that I'm doing everything correctly, and track your speed day so you make sure you match it as well. Or you exceed it, sorry, you want to exceed it. But my accessories, they're kind of going by feel. I do a lot of band work, so good luck tracking the weight and repetitions on that. I do track what band I'm using and how long I can go for and how it feels. So I know if I say I go a long time, I know I got to go a long time with that band, and if I don't and it doesn't feel good, I know why. Or if I take out the band work, I can go back and look and be like, oh, well, these numbers were going up with the band work and it felt great. I took out the band work and it feels like crap. So it tells me on that next cycle, add in the band work.
Good. And so you said you stick mostly to digital for your training progress
Yes.
and tracking.
Yep.
And so even though we're different on there, where I use handwritten and he uses digital, it's whichever is most sustainable for you is the one that you're going to want to run with. You just want to be able to keep a good flow. Whatever's consistent is where you're going to see the most gains.
So basically, do what works best for you. Do what you're actually going to do. If you've got that steel trap memory and you're good with that, go with it. If you're better at digital, go digital. If you're better at handwritten, analog, go analog. Whatever works the best for you and whatever you're actually going to do, make sure you're doing that. I think that's all for me, Rob. You got anything?
No, that's it.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and sign out, and as always, make sure you like and subscribe.
See you.